Well, I'm back downtown today. Yesterday I was at the Heart Gallery, Heart Art Gallery, and today I went over to the Songbird Museum. Now, both of them are on Main Street, but you have to remember that in Chattanooga, Main Street is not Main Street. Market Street is Main Street. Market Street runs north and south, runs into the river going north, and then it splits Main Street into East Main and West Main. So the Choo Choo, where I'm at right now, I got some coffee from the Frothy Monkey. The Choo Choo sits on Market Street, but it's on sort of the corner of Market and Main. So if you go down East Main, you get to the Heart Art Museum in about a block and a half. If you go West Main, you'll pass the coffee shop where I was yesterday, which is Mean Mug Coffee Shop. And then just past that is the Songbird Museum. The Songbird Museum used to be, I know it's getting very confusing here, but the Songbird Museum used to be here at the Choo Choo. And you had to pay a fee to get in. And it was a pretty decent guitar museum. They had a lot of guitars in there. It was a fairly big space, and they had a stage so that they had concerts every once in a while. They eventually moved. I'm not really sure why. Maybe the lease was up. Maybe the rent got to be too high. I don't know. They moved over down on Main Street to a slightly smaller space. So there's fewer guitars on display, but it is now free. It's only open on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. But it is free. They do take donations. So I left a donation when I left. They have a guitar that was owned by Dolly Parton. They have one owned by Chuck Berry. They have one owned by, is it John Entwistle from, is that The Who? Yeah. And then a couple of other rock guitar players there. Some very limited edition guitars, some of which maybe there was only 30 made in the world. A lot of amplifiers and pedals, and there's some interactive displays there as well, and still a stage for concerts. And it's just a nice place to walk through. I mean, it's not like if you go to Chattanooga, you really have to go to the Songbirds, but it is free, and it doesn't take very long to walk through, and there's some interesting things there if you're a country western fan from the bygone days or a rock fan from the great days. Then there are some things in there that might be of interest to you. And don't forget to look up, because in the ceiling there are all kinds of art displays and things hanging up there as well. There is just so much to see here in Chattanooga. Absolutely amazing how much there is. I'm going to walk out of here through some of the rail cars that are here at the Choo Choo. They're reconfiguring some of these to make them into hotel rooms again. But right now, they look pretty rough. So we'll see you tomorrow. Well, I've been wanting to go to the Songbirds Guitar Museum for a while now, and I have to say I was a little disappointed because I wasn't expecting it to be as small as it turned out to be. There's still some really cool stuff to see there, and it's worth a walk through. But if you're in Chattanooga and you're in that area and you want to spend 15 minutes walking through a place that's, kind of cool, Songbirds might be your place. If you are at the North Shore on Fraser Avenue and you're thinking about driving all the way down to the south side of Chattanooga and paying for parking to go to Songbirds, I would say find something else to do. Because I'd never been there, I wasn't really sure what it was like inside. And other than a couple of places, there was no place to set my camera down and get shots with me in the video. Because I had thought about doing all of the narration inside Songbirds, which is what I wanted to do inside the Hart Art Gallery. And it's 2 days in a row when that did not work. So as a result, I just walked across the street or down the street and across the corner to the Choo Choo to get some coffee, a little different location than yesterday's video, and did my narration there. Now, there, I was sitting in that, whatever that is, it's not a gondola, whatever, it'll come to me here in a minute. But I was sitting in the gazebo. I was sitting in the gazebo, and I had my phone on that little platypod rig, and I was using the DJI Mic 2. So I could sit about, I don't know, it was probably 12 or 13 feet away from the camera, and I zoomed it in post-processing to make it look like I might be sitting a little closer. Someone had mentioned in a video earlier, I don't remember honestly if it was on this channel or my New Retired Me channel, but they had mentioned that I had used the Mic 2 before, and there were times when my audio didn't quite line up with my mouth. And that's because I've just gone in, I've tried to do it by hand, overlay it, that kind of stuff. This time, I let DaVinci Resolve find the clips, line them up by the waveform, and it turns out perfect. It's a very simple process. It's the click of a button. It really is easier than what I was doing. So that was really the only thing in the editing process that might be a little different than I've talked about before. Other than that, if you've ever been to the Songbird Museum, or if you went to the old one and you looked at my video and you're like, oh my gosh, that's nothing like what it used to be, leave me a comment below, and we will see you tomorrow.